What keeps emotions lingering isn't the emotion itself, but the stories we tell ourselves that re-trigger the chemical response.
It's that second arrow. Boom. The first arrow you get is going to be something outside of yourself, right? That causes you pain or a certain emotion, Say, for example, somebody in your family dies, now you feel sad. Or you get cheated on by your girl, so now you feel sad. But your reaction to it is oftentimes what causes that emotion, the negative, undesired emotion, to linger. And it can be even more painful than the initial emotion that you felt. The first arrow, you're going to feel that emotion no matter what. You can't control what emotions you feel, but you can control how long you feel them and whether or not you start to feel more positively or feel better emotions. Don't give the negativity much thought. It's going to be there. You can't control that. Don't get mad when it shows up. Realize that it's normal and realize that you are not your thoughts, and realize that you have the power to control your thoughts. And by controlling your thoughts, you will control your feelings. What's going on, YouTube? cdagreen here, back with another video, and today we have "This will find you when you need it most." And I seen on the thumbnail of the video, it said that nobody is watching you. Big shocker. Even though it feels like we are the main characters, we are the center of the universe, we are indeed not. Not everybody is watching our every move, judging every move we make, thinking about us 24/7 like it often feels that they are. And, that's when you truly realize things like that you truly become free, because you're like, oh yeah, nobody's judging me. I get to act however I want because there's no pressure to be perfect because people aren't even paying attention to me, right? And even if they were paying attention to you heavy, it's like, as long as you like what you're doing and you feel good about yourself, why does it matter what they think about you? You know what I'm saying? So this video will find you when you need it the most. It certainly found me when I needed it the most, because I need to reiterate these things to myself, because, I like to feel these things. I know them, but I like to feel them, even though I don't need to, because as long as you know them, you can still act in accordance with that knowledge. But, we're going to react to this video to see exactly what it's talking about, if it can further reinforce that idea in my mind and make me feel even stronger about it. So without further ado, let's get straight to the video. If you like it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching, and let's get straight to the vid.
Did you know that no emotion lasts longer than 90 seconds unless you feed it? That's right. The actual physiological response of any emotion naturally dissipates in just a minute and a half.
Mm,
Here's what happens in your brain. When an emotion triggers, your body releases a flood of chemicals. These chemicals physically course through your body and are completely flushed out within 90 seconds,
okay.
unless you keep the circuit going with your thoughts. This isn't positive thinking nonsense, it's neuroscience. Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor discovered this through her research at Harvard. What keeps emotions lingering isn't the emotion itself, but the stories we tell ourselves that re-trigger the chemical response.
It's that second arrow. Boom. Basically, the idea behind the second arrow, right? The first arrow you get is going to be something outside of yourself, right? That causes you pain or a certain emotion, Say, for example, somebody in your family dies, now you feel sad. Or you get cheated on by your girl, so now you feel sad, right? But your reaction to it is oftentimes what causes that emotion, the negative, undesired emotion, to linger. And it can be even more painful than the initial emotion that you felt, because it's prolonged and it's self-inflicted. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the first arrow, you're going to feel that emotion no matter what. You can't control what emotions you feel, but you can control how long you feel them and whether or not you start to feel more positively or feel better emotions by redirecting your energy. Don't give the negativity much thought. It's going to be there. You can't control that. Don't get mad when it shows up. Realize that it's normal, and realize that you are not your thoughts, and realize that you have the power to control your thoughts. And by controlling your thoughts, you will control your feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Next time you feel anger rising, try this instead of reacting. Notice the physical sensations, maybe a tightness in your chest or heat in your face. Then simply count to 90 while breathing. Don't fight the feeling, just observe it passing through you like a wave. You'll literally feel the physical intensity subsiding as the chemicals flush out. This simple awareness gives you incredible power. You're no longer at the mercy of emotional storms because you understand their temporary nature. This is the foundation of emotional regulation that most people never learn. Emotions are like weather systems. They always pass if you don't fight against them. We've all had that moment when we snapped at someone, then regretted it seconds later.
No cap.
That's the 90-second rule in action. By the time you realize what happened, the actual emotion has already begun to fade. You know how we blame our feelings for our actions? Sorry, I yelled. I was just angry. That's like blaming the rain for the fact that you chose not to bring an umbrella. Your emotions don't make your decisions,
You
but
do.
they sure are convincing salespeople. Chapter 1: Cognitive Reframing.
Okay.
What if I told you that disappointment isn't caused by what happens to you, but by the gap between what you expected and what occurred, and that you have the power to close that gap? Cognitive reframing is a psychological technique that changes how you view a situation without changing the situation itself. Our brains are prediction machines constantly creating expectations. When reality doesn't match those expectations, we experience disappointment, anger, or sadness. Reframing doesn't mean pretending everything is wonderful.
Choosing to
It
see it
means
a different
adjusting
way.
your perspective to see the situation more accurately, with less catastrophic thinking and more possibility. Let's say
And that's not even just like, you know what I'm saying, trying to blindly look on the bright side. It's just like, what is the point of like stressing yourself out? You know what I'm saying? Does feeling bad about something make it okay because you feel bad? You know what I'm saying? That is happening to you because it's a bad thing. Feeling sad, does that make it like good, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because you feel sad about something, does that basically be like, okay, you know, I'm validating this experience by being sad? It doesn't make it any better. You know what I'm saying? Just like you choosing to not let it affect you doesn't make it any worse either. It makes it better, in fact, you know, because the only thing that you really experience, bro, is your own perception of reality. We rarely experience reality, bro. Like we always see it through our own lenses based on our life experiences, beliefs, and everything of the sort. So the way you see something is not even the way that it really is, bro. And to realize that is to realize that you can choose to see anything, any, like you can choose to see anything any way you want to see it. Basically, you have that power to reframe your mind. And why not reframe it to feel good? Because feeling bad doesn't really do anything for you at all.
you didn't get a promotion you wanted. The catastrophic frame is, I'm a failure. I'll never advance. A reframed perspective might be, this is one setback in my career journey. What specific feedback can I get to improve my chances next time? Notice how one perspective closes doors while the other opens them. Reframing transforms paralyzing disappointments into actionable challenges. It's not
Hmm.
positive thinking. It's accurate thinking that acknowledges difficulty while maintaining agency. The frame you put around a problem determines whether you can solve it. We've all had that moment where something initially devastating later turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Reframing lets you access that perspective when you need it most, not years later. Our brains are like overly dramatic movie directors. You got criticized in a meeting? Cue the tragic music, your career is over. Meanwhile, everyone else in the meeting has already forgotten and moved on to thinking about lunch. Chapter 2: The Emotional First Aid Kit.
Mm,
We prepare first aid kits for physical injuries. But what about emotional ones? What if you had personalized tools ready for when anxiety, sadness, or overwhelm strike?
man.
An emotional first aid kit is a personalized collection of strategies, activities, and reminders that you prepare in advance to help during emotional distress.
Okay.
The key is building it when you're feeling well, not during a crisis. Your kit should address your specific emotional triggers and contain multi-sensory interventions. Things you can see, hear, touch, and do that interrupt emotional spirals and activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Let's create a basic kit. First, identify your most common emotional challenges, like anxiety or self-doubt. For each,
It's my two biggest ones, bro. It's crazy. He really just called me out.
select a physical action, like 10 jumping jacks, a sensory element, like a specific scent, a cognitive intervention, like a mantra or specific question, and a social component, like texting a supportive friend. Store these as notes in your phone, along with reminders of past challenges you've overcome.
Mm,
This proactive approach transforms how you experience difficult emotions. Instead of being blindsided, you're prepared with customized tools that actually work for your unique brain. Emotional preparation isn't paranoia, it's wisdom. Think about how often you hear people say, I don't know what to do when I feel this way. This is the universal struggle we rarely discuss: how to practically handle our emotions in the moment. Your brain during a crisis is like a toddler at a birthday party who just found the candy stash, completely hyped up and incapable of making reasonable decisions.
Yep.
Your emotional first aid kit is the responsible adult who steps in and says, okay, that's enough sugar for today. Chapter 3: Breaking Rumination Cycles. Have you ever tried to
Sounds
stop
familiar.
thinking about something, only to find yourself thinking about it even more?
Yep.
This mental quicksand has a name: rumination, and there's a way out. Rumination is repetitive thinking about past events or negative emotions. It differs from problem solving because it goes in circles without resolution. Research shows that directly trying to stop ruminating actually strengthens the thought pattern. It's like telling yourself, don't think about a pink elephant. The key is not to fight the thoughts, but to change your relationship with them through pattern interruption and attentional pivoting.
Mm-hmm.
When caught in a rumination loop, try this 5-3-1 technique. First, name 5 things you can see right now. This activates your visual cortex. Next, physically move to a different location, even if just across the room. Then engage in 3 minutes of an absorbing activity requiring focus, like counting backward from 100 by sevens. Finally, choose one productive action related to the problem if possible, or completely unrelated if not. This technique works because it doesn't try to suppress thoughts. It redirects the brain's extraordinary attention resources towards something else.
Important.
Your mind is like water. It needs to flow somewhere. Give it a constructive channel. Remember those nights when you can't sleep because your mind keeps replaying that embarrassing thing you said 3 years ago? That's rumination. And it's something we all experience. My brain at 3 a.m. Hey, remember that time in 2012 when you called your teacher mom by accident? Let's analyze that in excruciating detail for the next 2 hours instead of sleeping. Thanks, brain. Super helpful. Chapter 4: The Spotlight Effect.
Hmm.
Did you know there's a psychological phenomenon that makes you feel like everyone is staring at your flaws, when
Yes.
in reality they barely notice them? This mental trick has caused more unnecessary suffering than almost any other. The spotlight effect is our tendency to overestimate how much others notice and care about our appearance, actions, and mistakes. Cornell University research demonstrated this when they asked students to wear embarrassing t-shirts. The wearers vastly overestimated how many people actually noticed. This happens
Or
because
cared.
we're the center of our own universe.
Yep. Yes, 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 yes. I love that saying so much, bro. We're the center of our own universes, but we are not the center of the universe. It again gets into your own perception of reality. But yeah, bro, it's like, even if people notice things that you do, they're not going to care. And if they do care, it's not going to be for that long. And if they do care for that long, then, bro, them niggas, they got nothing going on in their own life. Let's just call a spade a spade. You feel me? So, do you. Don't worry too hard about it. You might get nervous doing what you do. You might feel anxious. You might feel uncomfortable doing it at first, but just keep pushing through. And you're going to be happy that you did. Once you see that nothing bad happens to you as a result of just doing what you want.
Aware of every detail about ourselves. But everyone else is the center of their own universe too, primarily focused on themselves. Think about that time you made a small mistake during a presentation. It felt enormous to you.
Yep.
Maybe you're still cringing about it. But ask yourself, can you remember the small mistakes others made in their presentations? Probably not, because
Not
you
at
were
all.
too busy thinking about your own performance. That's the spotlight effect in action. The same principle applies to your perceived flaws. Understanding the spotlight effect is incredibly liberating.
Hmm.
It frees you from
What do you say?
the effect in action. The same principle applies to your perceived
To your
flaws.
perceived flaws. Okay.
Understanding the
Right.
spotlight effect is incredibly liberating. It frees you from the imaginary jury you've created in your mind, allowing you to focus on what matters rather than how you appear. Most of the judgment you feel is coming from inside the house. We've all
Yep.
had that moment of panic when we think everyone is staring at our stained shirt, misspoken word, or awkward interaction. The relief comes when we realize most people didn't even notice. My brain, everyone at this party, noticed you used the wrong fork, and they're all silently judging your complete lack of cultural refinement. Reality. Everyone at the party is wondering if they're using the right fork and worrying about their own cultural refinement. We're all just forks in the road people. Chapter 5. Third person self-talk. What if I
I
told you
love
that
that.
simply changing how you talk to yourself, literally changing the pronoun from I to your
This is crazy, bro. I've had this video in my watch later for so long, but I've just now been reading books that have been telling me the same things, bro. It's really crazy that like this information is just timeless, bro. Like it's always there. Like it's always true. It's always reality. You know? A lot of the things he's saying in this video, I read in just the first 2 chapters of this new book I'm reading, bro. Like it's all just great to keep rehearing these things, bro. It just makes me feel good, bro. Like no cap.
name
And
could
feeling good is the, you know, it is the objective, but it shouldn't be the determiner of whether or not you act like you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Do the things that you would do when you feel good or you feel secure, even when you don't, you know, because that's what's important. Because if you don't do those things, you kind of let your mood and emotions dictate you. And you're like, oh, if I feel this way, I can't do nothing. You're reinforcing um, that information in your brain. So you got to break that habit. You know what I'm saying? And you just feel better doing the thing that made you nervous or the thing that you wanted to do because you wanted to do it and you didn't worry about what other people thought too hard because you just wanted to do it. So you did it. And you pride yourself for going against that fear that you had anyway. So it's really no losing, bro. And just doing what you want.
significantly reduce anxiety and improve decision making, this tiny linguistic shift has profound effects. Third person self talk involves referring to yourself by name or as you rather than I during internal dialogue. Research from Michigan State University shows this creates psychological distance from intense emotions, allowing you to see situations more objectively. When you say, I can't handle this, you're fused with the feeling.
Yep.
But when you say, Peter can handle this, you activate the same brain regions used for advising friends, accessing your rational thinking. Next time you face a challenge, notice your self talk. If you catch yourself thinking, I'm going to fail at this, pause and rephrase, Peter has faced challenges before and found ways through them.
Mm-hmm.
This simple shift activates your prefrontal cortex, the wise advisor part of your brain, rather than the emotional limbic system. This technique essentially gives you access to your own wisdom on demand. It's like having a personal coach who knows all your strengths and capabilities, available exactly when you need objective guidance. The way you speak to yourself creates your reality. Think about how easily you can see solutions for friends that they can't see for themselves.
Bro.
This
Oh my goodness. Why is it so difficult for ourselves, bro? Like it's really crazy. Even giving ourselves the benefit of the doubt. Like when my friend says, like, hey bro, man, like I'm just not doing shit, bro. Like I feel bad about myself, bro. Like I just suck. And I'm like, nigga, are you serious, bro? You got all these good things about you, bro. Like, come on. But when I try to do that same thing for myself, I'm feeling down and then I try to hype myself up. It just feels like cope. It just feels like you're biased. Like you're saying it because it's you. So of course you want to tell yourself these things, even if it's not true. I don't know why it's so difficult, bro, but this is great. What he's saying right here.
technique lets you access that same clarity for your own challenges. Ever notice how we talk to ourselves in ways we'd never talk to another person?
Yeah.
You absolute disaster. How could you forget your keys again? Meanwhile, if a friend forgot their keys, you'd say, no worries, happens to everyone.
No cap.
Your inner voice apparently skipped all the lessons on basic manners. Ready to make your life easier in a world full of challenges?
Yes, brother.
Join our YouTube membership for exclusive
Man,
perks
what, boy?
like early access to
No,
scripts,
nigga.
input on future topics about productivity, and connect with a like-minded community that gets it. Click join below and let's build your easier, more intentional life together. Chapter 6. Mental Contrasting. What
Hmm.
if I told you that positive thinking alone actually reduces your chances of achieving goals? The missing
Ooh,
ingredient is something psychologists call
action.
mental contrasting.
Oh,
Mental contrasting is a psychological technique that combines positive visualization with obstacle anticipation. Dr. Gabriele Uedingen's research shows that purely positive visualization feels so good that it reduces the energy to actually pursue goals.
yeah. No
Effective
cap.
mental contrasting follows a specific sequence. First, vividly imagine your desired outcome and its benefits. Then, deliberately identify the most likely obstacles you'll face. Finally, create specific if then plans for those obstacles. Let's say you want to exercise regularly. First, visualize how you'll feel after establishing this habit, the energy, confidence, and health benefits. Then identify your likely obstacles. I'll probably feel too tired after work, or I might prioritize other tasks. Now create specific if then plans. If I feel too tired after work, then I'll just do 10 minutes and reassess. Or if I'm tempted to skip for other tasks, then I'll remind myself that exercise actually improves my productivity. This balanced approach harnesses optimism's motivational power while preparing you for real world challenges. It's the difference between wishful thinking and strategic planning.
No cap.
Hope for the best, plan for the obstacles, and you'll be unstoppable. How many times have you started something with great enthusiasm only to abandon it when unexpected obstacles appeared? Mental contrasting gives you the foresight to navigate these inevitable challenges. Pure positive thinking is like planning a road trip by only looking at the destination photos and ignoring the maps. I'm going to the beach. It'll be amazing. And then somehow, you're surprised when your car runs out of gas in the middle of nowhere because you forgot to check how far it actually was. But the brochure didn't mention gas stations. Chapter 7: Building Anti-Fragility.
Mm. I be trying to guess like what was gonna be the topic based off these titles, but I just can't. These hosts is very advanced.
What if you could build a life that doesn't just survive stress, but actually becomes stronger because of it?
Ooh.
This is the principle of anti-fragility, and it's incredibly useful. Anti-fragility is a property of systems that gain from disorder, uncertainty, and stressors, the opposite of fragility. The concept was pioneered by Nassim Taleb, who observed that some things benefit from shocks.
Hmm.
Your muscles grow stronger from the stress of exercise. Your immune system gets more robust from exposure to germs. Similarly, your psychological systems can become more resilient through calculated challenges, not by avoiding all stress. To build anti-fragility, start introducing voluntary discomfort into your routine. Take cold showers for 30 seconds. Practice fasting for a day. Have difficult conversations you've been avoiding. These controlled stressors build your capacity to handle unexpected challenges. Create systems with
Or even your
redundancy.
confidence. Even if it's not your ability, like you even just feel more confident to be able to tackle in them things. Cause you like, yo, I've done these things before, bro, that make me uncomfortable or that were unfamiliar to me, and I got through it. So even if you're not adequately equipped to actually do it, just feeling like you are, like, is practically the same thing, and if not better, I would say, because with that feeling, you're much more likely to take that action, and with taking that action, you get closer to being able to do the thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, like, come on. Even though taking the action is important, I would say no. I would damn near say taking the action is more important than feeling confident to take it. Yeah, because that confidence comes as a byproduct of the action, and this seems like it's the other way around, which it is. It's not really. You know what I'm saying? It's like an endless cycle, but the first cog in that cycle is the action. And then you feel good. And then you take more action because you feel good. And then you take even more action because you feel more good because the action you just took made you feel even more good. So now you like, you know what I'm saying? Like you understand? You understand.
Multiple ways to achieve important goals, so no single point of failure exists. Anti-fragility transforms your relationship with challenges. Instead of seeing stress as something to avoid, you recognize it as the stimulus for growth, like how a vaccine works. The obstacle is not in your way. It is the way.
Mm.
Think about how many of your proudest achievements came from periods of challenge rather than comfort. That's anti-fragility in action. You've already experienced it. My comfort zone is like my favorite old sweatshirt. It feels amazing. Looks terrible. And if I never take it off, I'm going to miss out on everything good in life. But it's so comfy. Yes, and so is quicksand right before it swallows you whole. Chapter 8. The Stockdale Paradox.
Mm,
How did some prisoners of war survive years of captivity while others gave up hope? The answer contains a powerful paradox that can help you through your darkest times. The Stockdale Paradox is named after Admiral Jim Stockdale, who survived over 7 years as a prisoner of war in Vietnam.
man.
When asked how he endured, Stockdale revealed a counterintuitive truth. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality.
That shit went over my head, brother. On cap. I won't even lie to y'all, bro. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. So basically, he didn't have faith that he would get through. He was just disciplined to overcome it. Right?
In other words, maintain unwavering faith that you'll overcome eventually while simultaneously facing the harsh truth of your present situation. The optimists who
Oh,
said we'll be out by Christmas repeatedly had their hopes crushed and eventually lost heart.
yep.
When facing a prolonged challenge, like recovering from a major illness, navigating a career setback, or enduring a painful life transition, apply the Stockdale Paradox. Acknowledge the difficulty. This is genuinely hard, and I don't know how long it will last. But simultaneously affirm, I am absolutely committed to finding a way through this, no matter how long it takes. This balanced perspective prevents both delusional optimism and crushing despair.
Mm,
This paradox provides a sustainable psychological framework for enduring extended hardship. It keeps hope alive without the brittleness of false timelines or expectations. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. We all face
yes,
seasons
sir.
where there's no quick fix or easy answer. The Stockdale Paradox offers wisdom for those long journeys through uncertainty. My optimistic brain during challenges, don't worry. This will all be fixed by next Tuesday at 3:17 p.m. exactly. And then when Wednesday comes and everything's still a mess, it's like, new prediction Friday at noon, this time for sure. Maybe we should stop trying to be psychics and just focus on being resilient instead. Chapter 9.
A lot more
Constructing your
simple.
personal resilience system. What if instead of bouncing from crisis to crisis, you had a comprehensive system that made you naturally resilient? Let's build that system right now. A personal resilience system integrates multiple techniques into a cohesive framework that becomes your default operating system during challenges.
Mm,
The key is regular practice during calm periods, not just emergencies. Your system should address 4 domains:
okay.
physiological regulation, how you manage your body's stress response;
Yep.
cognitive framing, how you interpret events;
Mm-hmm.
behavioral patterns, what you actually do;
Yup.
and social connections, how you engage with others.
Okay.
This multidimensional approach ensures you're not relying on willpower alone. Start building your system with these components. For physiological regulation, practice the
Breathe.
4-7-8 breathing technique daily. Inhale 4 counts, hold
Hold
7,
for 7.
exhale 8.
Yo, that should be frying me. Like, how can I exhale for 8 whole seconds, bro? Like, I run out of oxygen by like the second or third second. It's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just be like that's it, bro. That was like maybe 2 to 3 seconds of exhale, bro. Exhaling for 8 seconds is just painful.
For cognitive framing, use third-person self-talk and the Stockdale paradox. For behavioral patterns, implement the 90-second rule and mental contrasting. For social connection, identify 3 to 5 people who form your support network. Schedule weekly practice of these techniques so they become automatic when you need them. This system's approach identified three
Behavioral pattern. What was
90-second
the one
rule
for that?
and mental contrasts. For behavioral patterns, implement the 90-second rule
Okay.
and mental contrasting. For social connection,
Yep.
identify 3 to 5 people who form your support network. Schedule weekly practice of these techniques so they become automatic when you need them. This system's approach transforms resilience from a personality trait to a cultivated skill. Like a well-designed machine, your resilience system works even when parts of it are under stress. Systems quietly outperform willpower every single time. We often admire resilient people as if they were simply born that way.
Nope.
But the truth is, resilience is built through consistent practice and intentional design. Building resilience is like installing an operating system update for your brain, except instead of slowing your computer down and adding features you'll never use, it actually helps you run better. Also, there's no annoying "Remind me tomorrow" button that you'll click for the next 6 months. These 10 tools don't just help you survive difficult times. They transform your relationship with challenges entirely.
Right.
The 90-second rule shows you that emotions are temporary. Cognitive reframing helps you see opportunities and setbacks. Your emotional first aid kit gives you practical resources. Breaking rumination frees your mind from negative loops. Understanding the spotlight effect releases you from needless self-consciousness. Third-person self-talk accesses your inner wisdom. Mental contrasting balances optimism with preparation. Anti-fragility turns stressors into strengtheners. The Stockdale paradox provides sustainable hope. And your personal resilience system integrates everything into a powerful whole. Remember, these aren't techniques to use once and discard. They're practices to integrate into your life, creating a foundation of resilience that serves you through any challenge. The tools you've learned today will find you when you need them most, because
Just
you've
like this
planted
vid
them in
did.
your mind, ready to emerge exactly when required. Your resilience isn't measured by avoiding storms, but by how you dance in the rain.
Mm.
Start by choosing just one technique from today that resonated most. Practice it deliberately for 1 week. Notice what changes. Then add another. Building resilience is a journey, not a destination. And it begins with a single step. Take that step today. And hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit
Hey,
that.
WV, my nigga. For real, bro. Like I said, this video, it really did find me when I needed it the most, bruh. Like, no cap. When I was just starting to hear these things, but it just helped to reinforce them in my mind. So basically, everything that who said, bro, was really spitting. You know what I'm saying? It's obviously, we're not going to feel good all the time, and that shouldn't be the goal. It would be nice, but it realistically shouldn't be the goal. Because if you felt good all the time, like, where's the fulfillment in doing, you know what I'm saying, the difficult thing? Like, if you felt prepared for the job all the time, where would the satisfaction derive from when you do it when you're feeling nervous? Or if you were happy all the time, how could you appreciate, you know what I'm saying? Or if you were never sad, how could you appreciate the happiness? Because it's just your reality. There's nothing to appreciate because it's all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, basically, I don't even know how to sum up this video. It was a whole lot of bars spatting at her. Basically, you are not the center of the universe. You are in control at all times. You are not your thoughts. You are not even your body. You are what you choose to do, And basically, you can control your mind. You just got to learn to understand it and accept it first. That's where it all starts. So those 3 things I'm going to end on. I think that sums up everything from the vid, really. Hopefully it did, but if not, I'll rewatch the vid. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to rewatch the vid too, you know what I'm saying? Get a more, you know what I'm saying, rooted in these beliefs and like get them more ingrained into your mind, then feel free to do so. You know what I'm saying? While you're doing that, make sure to like the vid, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching the video. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Love y'all. Peace.